Man, y'all thought I had to shed a tear. What about homeboy who got choked unconscious by Nate Diaz? Wonder if he shed a tear as well. Now let's talk through the story. Nate Diaz was charged with second-degree battery, and the New Orleans Police Department had to issue a warrant for his arrest. He was filmed seemingly, this is that word again, allegedly, seemingly. If that ain't Nate Diaz choking that damn dude out, who the hell is it, right? But we're going to see the video of him getting somebody. They got the little arrow on it, the TMZ arrow on him, and next thing you know, he's asleep. Now you're going against a black belt in jiu-jitsu in Nate Diaz. So whoever you are, homeboy, night. So we saw Nate Diaz, who was out there in New Orleans supporting his teammate Chris Avila, who was fighting at that Misfits boxing event, where Nate Diaz also got into an altercation because the dude behind him was calling him pussy the whole time. Then Nate Diaz, as Nate Diaz does, has to defend himself, has to respond, and they had a little altercation there as well. Let me just get this report out. At about 2:10 a.m., I can hear Herm Edwards somewhere right now. Told you, at the midnight, nothing good happened, right? At 2:10 a.m., on April 22nd on Bourbon Street. All right, now y'all just done made Herm Edwards just Bourbon Street, 2:10 in the morning. What you expect to happen, right? The officers and supervisors alert to a large altercation, blah, blah, blah. Officers able to disperse the crowd, saw a white male subject. Damn, he laying there so lumped, they called him a subject. He just sitting there slumped up, unconscious. Short time later, wakes up, and then everybody's like, this was because of Nate Diaz. He had blood coming from the back of his head, so EMS was summoned to render it. Lawsuits coming, basically. All right, after an investigation, they have all of this. They are not arresting Nate Diaz of yet, even though there's an arrest warrant for him. He's not in custody. Okay, now Nate Diaz, we just saw him fighting last year. Tony Ferguson, we saw that fight. He was supposed to fight Jake Paul next in a boxing match. Huge boxing match. Why? Because of the attention that Jake Paul brings and because of the legitimacy you get when you go against Nate Diaz. But this just got me all over the place because I am like y'all. I love me some Nate Diaz, right? Like he's this lovable, like sympathetic, but he's a bully, but he's not. He's really like the ultimate defender. Like he's Pigpen, as I call him. Always in the midst of some dust, either kicking it up himself or just defending the moment, defending his honor, and still kicking up dust, right? That's who Nate Diaz is, and he's getting this collective pass from everybody because we love the Diaz family and the brothers. We love his story, rags to riches, but had to fight all the way through it. But at the same time, he's getting a bigger pass than maybe anybody in sports history. Gronk. But Gronk never did anything illegal, but Gronk was getting that frat boy pass of like, I can act any way I want to, and y'all not gonna criticize. But then some athletes out there, oh, they don't get no leash, no pass at all. But Nate Diaz is something about the dude that you can just look in his eyes and he seems like a guy who is at peace and ready for war. Like just straight up. Like every time I see that dude, I'm like, yo, I love him. Like if I saw him, I'll walk up to him kind of on some man crush stuff like, yo, Nate Diaz, respect. But at the same time, I ain't trusting that moment because anything can happen. He is a firecracker, always ready to pop. So interesting to see what comes from this because obviously I don't wish any ill on Nate Diaz and hopefully he doesn't have to do jail time. But at the same time, I believe in accountability. And we did see him on TV, on camera, allegedly choking the dude out.